Today's video sponsor is AOEAH.com. Use code Spartans to take a big chunk off of your order. Alright guys, let's talk about the OrbWaller. So the OrbWaller could pretty much farm every level 85 zone. The versatility of the build allows you to kind of get rid of whatever immunities you can get rid of. So let's talk about the items first, you guys. So first we're gonna do, so majority of your skills are gonna, or majority of your items are gonna be plus to skills. So you also want to get a good amount of resistances in there as well, because you are gonna go in these 85 zones. Another big thing is try to get your faster cast rate to 105 at the very least. That way you reach the break point. So what I did to get there is I got my Oculus here, got a Shaco, I got an upped Viper Magi. I got +2 to cold skills amulet. I'm probably going to try to search for a +2 fire skills faster cast rating amulet. But it's up to you. You could do anything with this as long as you're adding skills to either cold or fire. To do in this build, because we're spreading out our points so much into max firewall and orb, frozen orb. This is a max block build. So I got a storm shield. I'm probably going to put an Eld in it, or maybe a topaz or something like that. We'll see what I put into it. I don't know yet. For my boots, I have a War Travelers, 43%. For my rings, I would like to get an SOJ into these rings, but right now, just to kind of reach this 105 threshold and maybe get some more resistances in there, I have these faster cast rating rings. For my belt, I have arachnids. And then for my gloves, I have the Mage Fist because it gives +1 to fire skills, plus 20% faster cast rating, which gets you to that 105. Obviously, the regenerate mana and all that stuff is just a really good added bonus. For charms, I don't really have anything special. I just have like lifers and resistances and magic find. Nothing really big here. Geeds. Alright, but for skills, let's jump into like what you're gonna dump into with your skills, right? So I just have enough armor to be able to wear my stuff here. Well, obviously the storm shield being the biggest thing to wear. Dexterity, I did dexterity to get to the point where I'm max block, so 75%. So you're kind of just gonna do that just until you get max block, and then every other point you have besides wearing your equipment, getting max block, and it goes into vitality. Now the reason we want to get max block is because when you teleport around, you don't want to just die right off the bat, right? Have you ever like had your Sorceress and you're teleported and you accidentally teleport directly into a mob, and then bam, you're dead because they all hit you at one time. You blocked nothing of it. We don't have energy shield because we're dumping so many points into making sure orb and firewall do the most damage as they could do. So because we don't have energy shield, this is a max block build. Now let's go into our skills. So for our skills, obviously, we're going to max Orb. We're also going to max the synergy of Orb, Ice Bolt. And then for Cold Mastery, you want to get Cold Mastery to the point where you're not maxing it. So you want it to be where you minus the resistances of 135%. That's including your soft points. So by soft points, I mean your points that your items add to you. Now, because I know I'm going to be getting SOJs eventually here, I only put it to 22. I believe 24 is the soft point where it's 135%. Now going into lightning skills, you obviously are just going to get teleport. You're going to do what you can here to get teleport. You're not getting energy shield because you need as much points as you can to get your orb and fire skills up. Now for your fire skills, this is a little more tricky. Obviously you're going to max firewall, right? But the synergies are Warmth and Inferno, and this Fire Mastery isn't really a synergy, but it does add to it. Now, you're not going to do anything into Inferno, but the trick here is to make sure that Fire Mastery is always 3 or more, but at the very least 3. Do 3 because that really kind of like maximize the damage, but 3 levels higher than your Warmth. So my next thing that I would do to when I level up is I'm going to put Warmth. I'll putting this to 15, so then Fire Mastery is 3 above it, right? And then next I'd probably do Fire Mastery. It'd be 4 above it, but then next after that I'd do Warmth, so it'd be 3 above it. Kind of keeping that 3-4 kind of thing going on. This really maximizes how much damage your firewall will do. I'm not going to throw out the math out there, but as far as if you maxed, let's just say you maxed warmth and then put the rest into fire mastery, you're not going to get a lot of damage out of this. If you max fire mastery and then put the rest into warmth, you're not going to get a lot of damage out of this. If you do it in this way, where you kind of, where this is 3 above this, it really maximizes damage. I respec this several different times to kind of see where that is at, and it's always come out that way. So just know that that's the best way to make sure your firewall does the most damage. Now, for your mercenary, I mean, it's pretty standard. You're going to do an Act 2 Cold Aura Mercenary. I got an Andy's Visage on him with a rail. The rail kind of makes sure the minus fire resistance kind of is neutralized. I got an upped Duriel Shell, and then I've got an Insight. Now, the big thing I would like you guys to do, if you can, is get ethereal items on your mercenary. I will do a video in the future on why that is. But let's just jump into what this build. So with this max block build, you could kind of get right up there in his face and just put your firewall on. You can see he's melting. I'm not even doing static shock or anything. He's just going completely down, and bam, he's done. Guys, the true test of if you could do level 85 zones, and majority of level 85 zones, is if you could do all of Baal. With the wave 2, I find that firewall really just blows wave 2 up really a lot. The thing I'm not doing here right now that I should be doing is Glacial Spike. Glacial Spike kind of freezes everything in place and kind of like mitigates damage because they're not doing damage because they're frozen. I did not do that here on this wave, but I realized that while I was doing this wave, and I will show you next wave that that's what the best thing to do is. After buying my mercenary back because I failed him by letting him die because I did not freeze all of the minions, we're back and we're going to show you see how they're frozen there because of Glacial Spike, and I kind of just send Frozen Orb in between my Glacial Spikes. Hopefully he lives, but probably not. I teleport away to kind of save him. And finishing up the wave here. Kind of sending in my Glacial Spike in between to freeze them. As you could tell, the majority of damage from Frozen Orb is from those bolts. The giant ball in the middle of the orb does a good portion amount of damage, but the major damage is from all those bolts that fly out. And here we go again, freezing the minions of destruction. And as you can tell, only a couple of them are hitting my mercenary. And then I am doing the rest of the damage with Frozen Orb and Glacial Spike. I'm not doing Firewall, as you can tell. Well, I am doing Firewall, I guess, but as you can tell, they are immune to fire. And if you watch here, you'll see how fast Baal will die because of Firewall. And with this build, because we are max block, you could kind of just sit next to Baal and kind of tank everything that he gives off on you. The closer you are, the less spells he'll do to you. He'll do more so like melee spells instead of his range spells, which his range spells actually do a lot of damage. And I might change out my Oculus because, as you can tell, it kind of positions me poorly every time. But as you can see, Firewall is just melting him. There's no static going on at all. And he teleported into my firewall and died. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this.